Good morning. Time for to start the week, which Ross and I and a few of my friends have decided that with everything that's going on in the world, that even though we're doing our best to stay exercising and we're trying to keep our heads about us, that we need to detox. So we are on prep days of detox, and which includes caffeine. But also a few other things that came to mind was a tea that a friend has been sharing with me, and I was thinking about it last night when we were putting got a new batch of it, that a lot of those things in that tea are a part of the supplements that I usually have people take when I put them through a detox. Marshmallow root, lavender, nettle leaf, also golden seal, echinacea. Anyway, quite a few things, and this tea happens to have 3 of those main ingredients, specifically marshmallow, which I got to plant in the garden this year, so I'm really excited to harvest my own marshmallow root. So on the prep days, we just started yesterday. And already, even though we're still eating food, we're doing 100% plant-based food, still solid, but also starting to incorporate juice. So vegetable juicing, we added yesterday, and we took the supplements. And already, I've done this numerous times, but I'm in dire need of it because my body has reacted to every emotion and every, hi baby. Hi. Good morning, Ruby. Good morning. Hi. Come on in. Hi. So there's a lot of things that that might help you decide if you need to detox. Oh dear. Oh my god, I love her.
You got this set up?
Speaking of detoxing,
I'm gonna destroy it.
She's giving us another little tool to help detox. Laughing is actually a release and helps detox the body too. So thank you, Ruby. You're awfully sweet. So with that one day under our belt, there's not a whole lot we can notice, but there are tools that we can start using to prepare our bodies to let go of everything that we're detoxing. We're not just detoxing the colon here, we are detoxing the body, and a lot of the symptoms that have come up while we've been in, however you want to turn it, sheltering in place, quarantining. Everybody has a very traumatic word that they use that describes what we're going through, but some of it is achy joints, brain fog, confused thinking, irregular sleep patterns, inflammation. These kind of things are things that our body's telling us that it's having a hard time doing on its own because we are overloading it with one particular thing. And in this case, we're overloading it with a lot of different things. A lot of times people right now are eating things they don't normally eat because they can't get the normal things, go to the places and get the normal things that they usually eat. So we've been pretty lucky around here. But still, being home so much, we have a tendency to kind of overload on one thing at a time instead of having a nice rainbow variety. It's like I like to normally do. So we started the detox yesterday. And today Ross has had a couple of things that have changed already. But most of them are physical because he hasn't been through a detox before. And that's going to be the easiest thing to find. So to help bring out start our body on that detox, to make sure that it includes, other things we need to let go of, specifically emotions, pain, fear. These things bog down and become part of the thing that give us confused thinking, brain fog. It's not just physiology. So I'm also tying in the physiology of movement today to talk about how our body doesn't differentiate between what kind of stress it is. And that no matter what kind of stress it is on the body, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, certain chemicals are released into the body, and there's certain movements and certain positions that we can be in that help release those things. It's also going to help. The physical part will be digestion, peristaltic action, and just a connection to that system that removes everything all day long. Specifically, the liver, the spleen, the bladder, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the large and small colons. And so the movements we do today are going to be like helping all that stuff go. He's like, woohoo, exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know. Did you have any apprehensions like before this detox? Because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a detox. And he's like, yeah, I want to do it. And then I called a few friends, picked some lemons in Sacramento, got fresh lemons to everybody, and we're going to move through some fun things. But so you were excited about it, but...
Yeah, I mean, the prospect of post-detox is exciting. But yeah, the process of detox is a little daunting to me, because I've got some pretty crappy eating and drinking habits, and so I'm a little anxious about changing those out, but yeah.
Well, you've kind of already changed your eating habits quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mostly because you're,
it's been a gradual.
Stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But gradual is not bad, and you're still detoxing your body. It's kind of like you've done like an 8-month prep for a major flush.
Right.
Some of these movements you'll be familiar with, and maybe understanding the physiology of that will help you tie it to some of the feelings that you felt before. Sometimes we don't realize, you ever have that experience like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm crying right now, or why I'm angry right now, or why I'm whatevering right now. Do you ever have those thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why is that? Why am I feeling that?
My emotions run amok. Yeah. A lot.
Sometimes we just write it off as like, that's what we're going through. We don't really think about what has physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually affected that emotion. So it's not that you got yourself in a position like we're going to be today, like specific poses, but sometimes it probably was because we've been in some of these positions before. So, like, what are you excited? What do you think a detox is going to do for you?
Clean things out of my system that are bogging it down, so to speak. Yeah.
So yeah,
I want my innards to run more smoothly.
What do you think the benefits are to innards running more smoothly?
Less stress, more activity, or more energy, I guess. Just better overall sense of well-being, I feel like it'll help me sleep a little better. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm mentally taking notes, but he'll have to remind me later. I should just have my notebook here. But yeah, those are all things. This physical detox is a digestive detox. And the supplements that I usually have for people to take during this are helped to engage peristaltic action and kind of ask like, that commercial with the little scrubby bubbles, Mr. Bubbles or whatever it's called, and they go along and they're like cleaning all the surfaces. So one of the supplements is kind of like that. It has all these extra spaces to take on electrons. And so as it enters our bloodstream through our digestive tract, because all of our nutrition comes through our absorption through the small and large intestines, and these move out through the body and they kind of act like the scrubber bubbles, and they pick up a bunch of stuff that has been maybe bogging down the cellular growth and cellular systems of the body and packing around all of the ends of the lymph system, capillaries, and like not allowing things to move through. So this is going to be a huge immune system boost too, which is also nice for this, maybe take off a little mental stress about where people are.
Viruses.
Yeah, catching viruses. So this can help build that too, but also the stress and lack of sleep, those kind of things bog down the immune system too. So we take those few supplements. Everything else is about, and that's only just to kind of help to speed up the process. If we were to drag this out, we would want to do this juicing and fasting and and this liquid regimen for about 30 days. And so we're going to do kind of the introductory 7-day, 10-day. We'll see how it goes. When we're reintroducing solid foods, we'll decide how long it'll take. So today,
for beginners.
Yeah. So today's our prep days. We had a couple of plant-based proteins mixed in with vegetables like red peppers, onions, mushrooms. I can't remember what else was in it.
That's all I can remember.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we did a scramble with a product called Just Eggs, and which is handy considering that he is sensitive to eggs and but still likes them. So now he doesn't have to worry about that. But we started off with that, and then we did a couple of shots of green juice. So kale, spinach, spirulina, wheatgrass, cucumbers, a little bit of apple in that, and lemon, lime. And so we had a couple shots of that throughout the day and drank a lot of water. So that's how we started the first prep day. Today will be basically similar, but we're going to cut out completely the solid food and just be sustained. Well, not completely cut it out, but sustain with no protein that comes from a meat product, no dairy, no sugar for sure, no processed foods. So today is going to include a lot of vegetables and then tomorrow we have a couple extra prep days. That's right. We're doing preps until today's Monday. We're doing prep until Thursday. So Thursday morning we'll start our juicing regimen for 3 days, and then we're gonna slowly after that reintroduce solid foods one at a time to find what things help our body and what things don't help our body. Tied to this, we will be doing our detox yoga poses. We will also try to take notes on like what emotions we're feeling. The body heals backwards. So whatever emotions, fears, those kind of things, anger, sadness, sorrow, happiness, all of those things that we've experienced most recently will be what we feel first. And if we can tie ourselves and start being aware of what we felt a long time ago, this tells us how far back we've detoxed, basically. How many waste products and how many cellular memories we're getting ourselves out of, which is kind of fun. So I think it's fun.
Sounds like an emotional blast. Yeah.
So today, real quick, the poses we're going to go over are going to physically stimulate peristaltic action and let your body be at rest while we're doing it so that it's not overwhelming. And we're also going to stimulate points in the body where the liver, the spleen, the kidney, the colon, the small intestine, and I'm missing something, pancreas, basically everything in your abdomen. Each of those points we want to stimulate and energize so that it can function at a higher level and also help bring out all those things we want to let go of, which is kind of fun too. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I was born ready.
Were you? Is there anything else you want to say about detox now that I put a little more thread in it?
The fun peristaltic action for the layman.
Okay. So, how our gut is supposed to work. We put food, we chew it in our mouth, so we break it down. And it kind of, and in layman terms, we want to make it small enough that we don't choke on, first of all. And so by doing that, we start breaking down the fibers of that food. And as soon as it hits our esophagus and we start to swallow that food, as soon as we swallow, our stomach engages in with the pancreas and spleen to create an environment that it can break it down further, which is usually when we put all these enzymes and stomach acids into the stomach. At that point, whoa, very exciting. No, Rube.
It's okay.
It's okay. At that point, the stomach breaks down those things closer to, not just smaller physical chunks, but it starts to break off electrons. It starts to break off molecules. And as these enter our small intestine, they immediately start absorbing into the system. So and then as it goes through the small intestine, that process continues. And they get smaller and smaller and more of these molecules, more and more of this electron exchange through the wall of the small intestine is happening and absorbing into the bloodstream. Once it hits our large intestine, our colon, at this point, it's almost just waste of what our body can't or what doesn't want to absorb. And also stuff that we still need, because a lot of the foods we have a large structure to their bonds, their chemical bonds. And so we want to break those down further. We also don't want it to sit there anymore. And the large intestine begins down here, and to get that to move up and across and move down and meet up with our rectum, we need something to move it. With a lot of the diets that we have in America nowadays, people have crippled that peristaltic action, and so things pack up and they get pushed around, and then they are finally to where they can come out. And every time we eat, it packs more in there, and then and a lot of fiber is left. Fibers are long-strand glucose molecules, and they don't break down in the small intestine very well, but they do in the large colon. It just takes quite a bit of time. Also, when they hit there, they expand. And so if they have something moving it, it will take everything with it, and it'll scrub the sides of the colon wall and keep us all clean and make absorption really easy to happen. So here's the problem. The body has a function, the peristaltic action, that when certain things enter into the colon, it starts a kind of snake-like movement. So the walls of the colon get all excited, and they're like, and then they take everything and they go move it across, and then they move it down. And when that action is happening, nothing hangs out like in the colon, because as long as we're eating certain things, then they stimulate that movement, and the fiber that we're eating just carries everything with it, and it scrubs the sides of the walls of the colon, and it keeps it clean, and it lets us absorb through the side of the large intestine, the colon, into the bloodstream, and we get more nutrients from our foods. If we don't have peristaltic action and the walls of the colon aren't clean, then we absorb a little bit. We end up with more waste that stays in the colon. And sometimes it bogs down the hairs and the sides of the colon, and it just kind of hangs out there until it's kind of, like when your kids throw their food off their, plate, and it hits the wall and it kind of sits there for a while. And then you clean it off, and there's that residue left still because you didn't clean it off till the next day. And there's that residue.
That's inside your colon.
That's inside your colon. Except that they're throwing it at the same place every day, all day long. And so, that residue builds up. So, I don't know why that showed up. But that's kind of what it is. So, peristaltic action is this movement that is stimulated by certain things we eat. It's also stimulated by hormones that are released from our pancreas and our adrenal gland. That action is stimulated by hormones to be like, oh, it's my time to work. here comes the hormone that says, now work. So if our systems are out of whack, then we are telling our colon to do that. We don't have that backup plan. So there's nutrients, there's hormones. Those are the two big main ones that create this movement in the colon. So peristalsis is basically the master of digestion and breaking down and movement inside of our colon. And we want that. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that explanation.
It's always longer when you leave it to me and throw a question at me like that. Okay, so now we've had a little bit of coffee, which, by the way, is an action that creates peristaltic action.
Oh, yeah. I can feel that when I drink coffee.
Yeah. We can talk about coffee some other day, like the darkness of the roast, the oils that are apparent, brewing, like that will be fun talk someday.
We'll have a whole coffee talk about
coffee. That'll be super fun. But as with anything else in life, if it's not in moderation, it becomes a hindrance. So even if you eat really good food, but you only eat like a variety of 3 things or 3 colors, then that also becomes a detriment to your health also. The body will also stop peristaltic action with that also. The key to keeping the colon healthy is a large variety of things in moderation, always. So, today, on our second day of prep, I'm excited. We're just going to do a couple poses that are meant to calm the systems that are now kind of going, wow, I just got woke up. I don't know what the hell's going on. But we're also trying to stimulate peristaltic action, and we're trying to connect the dots between all of our detoxing organs, the liver, the kidneys, mostly those, but also the gallbladder, the urinary bladder tract, the small intestine, the stomach, the spleen, the pancreas. Like, we're trying to tie all of these things together and help them communicate better, since their system of communication has been bogged down. It's like a bad relationship. So anyway, we're trying to make it, it's like therapy.
It's like static on the radio.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so if you want to take your jacket off, you can. You're welcome to keep it on. Oh my gosh, there's so much information to cover in Detox 101. Follow Ross and his progress through his detox with part 2 of Detox 101 in the Physiology of Movement series with CRFX. Here you'll find the yoga poses that will help begin to detoxify the body and help us gain a better understanding and awareness of how everything ties together with the 13 systems of the body. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.